Welcoming guys to your AEW Full Gear 2021 review, and this show was a really good show. I really enjoyed the show. I just want to point out a couple of things some things on this card that Tony Khan and the EVPs need to learn is that less is more. Some of these matches didn't need to be on the actual card, and not every match has to be 30 minutes. Like example for this card, FTR versus Lucha Bros. We've seen it on TV. It wasn't worth being on pay-per-view for so long. And you go on to the other match. I'm going to talk about Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Andrade and Malachi Black. That didn't need. Those two tag matches felt more like a Rampage, a Dynamite kind of match. You could have advertised those for Rampage, saying, these are two matches you can get for Rampage and Dynamite next week. We did get a cameo from Jay Lethal, so he's signed with AEW. Don't know where the hell he's gonna fit in with I don't know where the hell they're gonna book him in AEW. I know Ring of Honor's having their problems, so I'm glad he's finding work elsewhere. Why Ring of Honor's doing whatever Ring of Honor's doing. Anyway, onto this review. So we started off the night really hot, and I think the structure of this card was good. I think it was. I think you go to MJF and Darby Allin, and sometimes when you start a wrestling show, maybe you're blowing your load too early, especially if you're going to the end of the night, which was the most important thing of the night. And when you got to the end of the night, the fans were still into the ending of Hangman Page Omega, but they were so drained at the end of it because it was so damn long. Like, you should have started this at least 7 Eastern. There was no need for you to start at 8 and finish it at 12. It was no reason to do that. Cut a couple of matches out. But anyway, going back onto this match, it was MJF versus Darby Allin. Really hot crowd going into this. Great opener. MJF wins with the ring. We have Sting try to take out Shawn Spears and Warlow. Doesn't help, but MJF gets the win. Good opener. Then we get to FTR Lucha Bros. This match, like I said, didn't deserve to be on the pay-per-view. It didn't need to be a pay-per-view match. Lucha Bros go over. The ref is fucking the worst referee ever. Rick Knox. Like, they had this fucking spot at the end where FTR are in mask. The legal guy isn't in the ring. He gets pinned. They unveiled it. It's one of Dak or one of the Wheeler or whoever the fuck it is from FTR is the legal man, and he's not the legal man. So why didn't he reverse the decision? It was kind of stupid, but I'm not liking the booking of the Lucha Bros tag team them as champions right now. They should have gone, which they should have gone with Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express as tag team champions. At least they would have been booked better than Luchasaurus. Well, then Lucha Bros, because if you look at Lucha Bros, look how they're booked. They've had a couple of video packages on Dynamite, a couple of tag team title matches, and then whatever. And then we have Bryan versus Miro. The winner will face either Hangman Page or Kenny Omega for a future world title match. And guess who won the match? Instead of actually having Miro win the match and actually building up Miro for potentially facing a Hangman Page down the road going into 2022 and maybe him being the world champion, Bryan Danielson, the greatest politician in the world today, Bryan Danielson 2024, said, you know what, brother, I'm not feeling that we should put you over Miro. I understand that you're the best, you're really this God character is really going over with the crowd, but I'm not feeling it, brother. I've got to go over in this match. And that's what Bryan Danielson did. 2024, he went over, he made Miro pass out. So Bryan's going to face Hangman Page down the road or whenever, maybe in the new year. Then we had the Jurassic Express and Christian versus the Elite. This was one of my favorite Young Bucks match ever. Normally with Young Bucks match, I know the typical Young Bucks shit, they flip and flop match and move marks, they don't tell a story in the ring. But this match actually had storytelling in the match. It had a purpose that it needed, a Falls Count Anywhere match. And the Young Bucks told a story in the match, where you had parts in the match where you had the concerto of Matt Jackson, and Christian gives Jungle Boy the chair, and then Jungle Boy's like, I cannot do it, he gets attacked, and then later on in the match, they build up to the finish again, and then the concerto comes into the equation again, and Jungle Boy hits it, gets the win. Luchasaurus does a frog splash. Christian, I want to talk about Christian for a minute. Christian was like a fucking spot monkey. 50 years old Christian, taking dives from like a concession stand. DDT or Nick Jackson from off a ladder. Like, Christian was a bump machine in this match. Adam Cole was, he did great bits in this match. I don't know, and just some great bits. Overall, this was one of my favorite Young Bucks match ever. Like, I don't want to hear about Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks in a cage. It doesn't even fucking matter. It's all flips and kicks and whatever. This had story going into the match, during the match, and after the match had a story, and I like that. The Young Bucks can actually, when they want, and which is not very often, they can tell a good story in the ring. But many cases, like in today's wrestling, they only care about, oh my god, let's geek out the Meltzer and get these imaginary stars that don't actually mean shit, because it's about the matches and the moves, and it's not really. It's about the fucking characters and telling the story in the ring and selling and stuff like that to get the people actually engaged, instead of geeking out to Meltzer and saying, oh, here's another match of the year for the Young Bucks. It doesn't care about them. These stars don't mean shit. What matters is that you can be a better performer in the ring by telling stories, by selling, by being a character, being a personality. Stop catering to the audience you already have, and growing your audience, growing your business. And Jungle Boy gets the win here. I would have wanted to see Luchasaurus pick up a win, get a big pay-per-view win, but AEW, they're high on Jungle Boy. I think Luchasaurus is the more guy that you can make a lot of money off, because of the whole him with mask, and the kids like, oh, I want a mask. You can cater to the kids demographic of AEW and make a lot of money. And Tony Khan, until he realizes that, you're not going to make any money. You're going to still keep the fans you already have, which is not a good business model. You need to grow as a company and get the demographics up for the females, from the 12 to 34 demographic for the females. You have a lot of male demographics, 18 to 49, but get your demographics up for different age groups as well. But anyway, then we have Cody versus Pac, and versus Andrade and Malachi Black. Whatever. Who won this match? Oh yeah, Cody and Pac won this match. I didn't care about it. Like, Minneapolis was saying Cody sucks, which is great. Cody does suck, and Cody got the win. It didn't need to be on pay-per-view. I don't know why it was on pay-per-view. Like, less is more, and you could have, like I said, Cody and Pac and FTR versus Lucha Bros. That could have saved you a lot of time. Could have been a 3-hour show. You could have cut 2 matches off this card, and you would have had a good show. You could have just cut like Cody and Pac, and like I said, the other match. Then we had, like, this was probably the shortest match of the night, but really a really good match. You had CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston, and as soon as Punk comes out, Eddie Kingston knocks the fuck out of CM Punk. He's like, bam! Knocks him out clean for about a minute, 2 minutes. We had a lot of brawling. Like, this felt like a genuine hateful feud. Like, these guys cannot stand each other. Eddie Kingston is one of the most underrated performers, in my opinion, and I'm happy that he's finally getting that recognition on a big mainstream promotion like an AEW. CM Punk going over. I wanted Eddie Kingston to get the win, but they got another match out of it, and Punk goes over. Inner Circle versus American Top Team in a Minneapolis street fight. This was a fun match. You had toasters, you had all these other spots in the match. Then you had a Swanton from Sammy Guevara. A lot of great stuff. You had an Eddie tribute by Jericho for a frog splash and get the win, and then you had Inner Circle go over. Then we get to the main event of the night, the most important match of this entire card, and that was Hangman Adam Page versus Kenny Omega. 2 years of building up this Adam Page and Kenny Omega, the former tag team champions, and even like the Bully Rays just what? Oh wait, 3-4 more weeks and give it Hangman. No, Bully. Could you imagine if we went the Bully Way route and we actually gave Hangman Page the fucking belt 2 or 3 weeks later after this show? Like, you should strike while the iron is hot. It's been shown in wrestling in the past. Look at Kofi back in 2019. Look at Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe back in 2017 and 2018. When they was red hot in WWE, WWE never pulled the trigger. And when they did pull the trigger, especially on Braun Strowman, they did it when Roman Reigns couldn't wrestle. And it was in a pandemic year when he had the title, but nobody gave the shit about when he was a champion. You gotta strike now when the iron is hot, especially if Hangman Page is the most over babyface in the world of pro wrestling today. He's the most over guy. I wish they would protect Hangman Page by one thing, and that is just let him say the shit word. No other wrestler in AEW can say the shit word, because every wrestler says shit. I know you're TV14 AEW, but let Hangman Page do that because that's his gimmick. And if you protect that word and only Hangman Page says that once in a while, you're like, oh shit. It's like when Austin said, Austin 316 and whatever. It's kind of like that, like an iconic catchphrase. And it means more. But this was at this point the crowd, you could see, were drained. I looked at the video package over before the match of Hangman Page, and you could see how the progression of him, you know, from his first world title reign of AEW when he was facing Jericho to be named the first AEW World Champion, to his breakup with Kenny Omega in a tag team, and then him going solo, and then him riding on a horse to the Target Center. It was so great, and I loved that storytelling on an AEW standpoint from Hangman Page. And Hangman Page goes over with the buckshot lariat for the win. The Young Bucks are ringside, and they don't attack Page because Page said, if you cost me this match, I'm going to basically stalk you and I'm going to make you pay, and you're not going to wish you... He like told them, like, if you're going to screw me over, then I'm going to keep screwing you guys over on Rampage. And Hangman Page is your new world champion. Kenny Omega, his world title reign was not that good, to be honest. He was new champion for a year. What did he really do in that year as world champion? Only the last couple of months he's actually acted like a world champion. With the mini feud he's had with Bryan and the feud he's had with Hangman Page. Apart from that, when has he actually acted like a world champion? But yeah, that's my Full Gear 2021 review, guys. Leave your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I'll check you guys later. Peace.